Our final day of the Challenger stage continues. TYLOO, they looked fierce in their opening best of ones. However, crippled once they venture into the best of threes. Back-to-back losses there, now brought to their knees in front of G2, the super team that couldn't. They have looked a little wavering as of late. A fading star, perhaps. We'll find out as TYLOO about to test them in a best of three for survival. One spot between the two of them, and we'll see who's going to be taking that one. To talk all about it, of course, introducing a new addition to the analyst desk for today, Chad. Good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Okay, perfect. And that's, of course, at the level of analysis you're going to be getting out of Sponge throughout all of this. Of course, still Jacob Pimp-Vinegar on the end as well. Quick introductions for a change in the casting desk as well. The voices have swapped for this one. Another intense affair, I'm sure. Henry G and Sadikis, you boys are standing by. Guys, TYLOO G2. One of these is going into the Legend stage. Do you even have an inkling, a tingle as to where this could go?
It depends. I mean, G2's been struggling pretty severely, but the third map yesterday, Shox finally showed some hunger. He was actually moving his mouth in a way that looked like he wanted kills and was being very good in the post plants like we know he is. I still favor TYLOO, though, I have to be honest with you.
I favor G2. I feel like they've woken up at this point. They said they felt too much pressure coming into the event, and that was showing in the first couple of games. Now at the best of three, I feel like that upset potential has been reduced somewhat. TYLOO, yes, definitely looking very good, but G2, I think, finally might have got to a point where they're going to be convincing. Maybe not the 2-0, but I think they edge out the series.
I mean, that is the aspect of it that you have to consider, is how much Shox and Kenny are really going to be a part of it, because yesterday, again, they did finally step up. Things looked a little bit better on Overpass. So with that, we'll have to wait and see, Alex. But it's going to be extremely tight. I wouldn't mind seeing an Asian team make it through. That's all I'm going to say.
They've certainly impressed us so far. Thank you so much. That's Sadikis and Henry G. They're going to be casting this next one. But the first point, and I'd like to start here, Chad, is something that you've been saying that's been rattling around in my head ever since I've heard it. Name value. How much do you think name value is a factor when looking at this game at face value?
Well, G2 actually have Kenny S and Shox as the two highest rated players for their team.
So that's something.
The name is actually, you know, coming along with statistics, which is fantastic for them. On the other side of things, when you look at TYLOO, when you look at them in this tournament, they've only won best of ones. They've had the two best of threes where they've gone down to the wire in both series, but they haven't been able to win a map. So that's the problem, right? We want to see how deep this map pool is for TYLOO, Alex.
Now, this is interesting. Maps are up on your screen. So Mirage picked by TYLOO, no surprises there. They always ban Nuke. But G2 with, I mean, is it safe to assume, is that a punish pick there, Jacob?
Not necessarily a punish pick. I feel TYLOO can play it. It's not the best map, obviously, but it's more the pick of comfort for G2. It's the only map I feel I have full confidence in G2 to be able to play at a high level. We did see it yesterday, Lucky being the secondary all-player, Kenny S roaming around, getting some impact. Shox in particular, playing super, super well in Dust 2. If any map they can win, it's going to be Dust 2.
It's the unknown, though, Alex, because we haven't seen TYLOO have to play it. So who knows what they can throw at G2, right? The fact of the matter is,
so far?
Our sample size is only 6 maps of this TYLOO roster.
Yeah.
This is their debut event. So the fact we were blown away, surprised, they've had a consistent performance, individually been stepping up. We still don't know how deep the map pool goes, and I'd say that Johnson, the coach, has at least prepared 5 maps with these guys, and hopefully Dust 2 is one of them.
Absolutely. We do have the stats for the maps. There we go. Got my words in the order. And you can see exactly how things have been shaping up for them so far. Their seedings as well were really actually close, but not forgetting that G2 did come in with this with a bit of a limited expectation. We didn't know what to expect surrounding this French team, but you can see rather neck and neck at this point in time, at this juncture. I can't get the Fnatic win for G2 out of my head. Why has one game of Counter-Strike flipped the switch to me to start believing G2?
I think it's because you saw Shox play as well as he did. I think you reckon and you remember how good Shox can be and how impactful he is when he's on his A game. It's not necessarily the stats that is backing him up. It's not like they're out of this world. By no means the highest rated player at the tournament, but the impact he had yesterday, being a lurker, being an in-game leader, and constantly being an annoyance for the other team, that's the impact we want to see again today, and that's why you believe so much in G2.
Yeah, and I think the 16-8 and 16-5 victories is why it seems like such an astonishing way. You know, we thought that series was going to be messy, but I thought it was going to be closer than it was. When you look at these two teams going head-to-head, TYLOO can't start slow again, and a factor, you know, that's going against them is it feels like G2 have won an awful lot of pistol rounds, right? That seems to be a factor. They've won 9 out of their 12 pistol rounds thus far, where TYLOO, they've won 7 out of 5, so those aren't bad odds considering, but we have seen some very slow starts from TYLOO where they've had to warm into the games. They can't have that happen again. And their individuals have to be on point from the very beginning because as we saw yesterday, or the day before even, they started super slow. People were missing shots, and that wasn't the TYLOO that we had come to love.
Yeah, TYLOO, they're going to have to win their first Mirage of Katowice. They haven't done it yet, and now they venture into it versus G2. It does sound like the game is ready, so let's not mess around. Let's get into the action. TYLOO versus G2, and only one is going to be securing the spot in the Legends stage. Will the French find form finally, or will it be the Chinese Dragons roaring into the next stage of competition? None other than Sadakist and Henry G to guide you through.
Thank you very much, Alex. Yes, we'll get started. Interestingly enough, this is the 3 maps in the pool that have basically the similar layout.
Yes.
Different play styles on all, but if you put them on top of each other, there's 2 bomb sites far apart. They're basically squares. You've got a very direct mid. Nuke, what am I saying? Nuke's very different. I was going to say Mirage is a little bit different in that it's very smoke execute. CT's got a little more aggression on cash. Dusk plays a little more loose.
Dust 2 especially. That's the one where I feel like G2 have a strong upper hand there. If they can get a good start here in Mirage, we might see some fireworks go off. We'll see what happens. Either way, it's going to be G2 starting the CT side and TYLOO sending most of their manpower towards the B side of the map. We see Excura there holding towards Palace. Suggests it will be an A split of some sort. They're going to go through the underpass here. They have 1 smoke, a couple of flashbangs, and CTs are hunting for information towards that A ramp. That's going to be Jax and Kenny S actually pushing towards T spawn.
Aggressive toward the kitchen for now from Bintet. 1 shot fired, smoke down, but it's actually a rotation back through underpass. And with the player in Palace with the bomb, pretty obvious exactly what their intent is. They don't have CT spawn yet. Shock's still there trying to hold them off. They don't have T-spawn either, though, because that's going to be wrapped in from behind. You've got both Jax and Kenny taking that position. In fact, Jax going to go all the way through Palace. That'll give him an angle to clear off toward Connector and Jungle, which is currently occupied. Vent covered off, pretty standard position. But it's Lucky and CT that wants to be the next to make contact. Flash over. He's got a chance, but he couldn't find the shots. Poor start for Lucky in terms of aim, despite the best intentions. Nonetheless, TYLOO, fantastic in hitting the shots inside of the site.
Yeah, no problems there whatsoever. And the CTs get a bit of information, but actually doesn't help them out at all. All the shots coming through the connector, landing from the Glocks, no problem as the bomb gets planted and shots missed on the G2 side. They're going to have to take the full eco here, as we'll see the AKs and Galils be purchased up. Bentet's got a MAC-10 there. He is on your screen, just there. And some replays coming through. Not many kills picked up, just the 1 for G2 in the previous round. That was Kenny S, who does have $2,300. You better get glass cannon next round, but that's about as exciting as it gets. Remember, throughout this campaign at the Major, him having an AWP and no armor has been a massive issue for them. We'll see if that continues, as right now they're pushing towards middle. Should be pretty easy for TYLOO to handle. We can see they're taking a lot of damage at the start. This could be a little bit more problematic than I once thought, as the B bomb site is completely open. You can see Summer just investigating and killing towards the A bomb site. Long range of the MAC-10 is not easy, and he will be dropped by Kenny S eventually. And this still could be costly for the T forces here, but they're starting to rotate the bomb over through the T apps, and that's round guaranteed because there's no CT presence whatsoever.
Back over to B, wide open. Controlled round. It's one of those what-ifs when you see the HP, but without the guns, nothing they could do to capitalize on it. Kenny might drop down to spot somebody. 40 HP, certainly a winnable exchange. Pistol kill for Kenny. We talked about, you just mentioned it, lack of armor on the AWP. Money's going to be beneficial for him.
Yeah, so he's got that 1 kill now, so he definitely gets the AWP out next round, and he did look pretty good actually yesterday with the AWP. So hoping to see more of that. He likes to pick towards the window and short, of course, and Mirage, you've got plenty of options to be a bit of a nuisance. We'll see that MAC-10. A couple of them actually taken to the next round. If TYLOO keep both of those, I'm assuming we're going to see something quite fast and calculated towards the B side. Presumably we'll see if that execution will come through, or maybe just a fast day of the MAC-10s jumping out of the Palace. We will see, and G2 needs to be aware of that. They need to think, do we want to buy some helmets here over utility just so we have an advantage in that department instead of taking the risk and getting more of the grenades? So Kenny has $5,000. Like we said, the AWP can come out, but I have nothing else to go with it. Barely a smoke, as this will be a difficult round for them. Or purchase, there's the 1 smoke. And you can see it goes right down to $0, so just enough for that purchase, as the M4s and presumably the Orgs as well will come through. There it is, Lucky purchasing that. And FAMAS for body, just to make sure they have some utility. Matt, they've got 3 smokes and a couple of flashes. That's about it. It's not a strong buy.
Yeah, and that extra pistol kill would have done the difference to get Kenny a little bit of armor. Fast A hit, it looks like maybe speed not part of it, but certainly it is going to be on the A site. I take back what I said. It absolutely is with velocity. They go in and find Jax. Shocks still behind though. He's going to wait this out. He could deny the bomb. He wants to wait for them to commit to it. They haven't even looked. All 4 of them. 1 down. Easy bomb denial. Wanted to see if he could find one other. Well, the bomb planter was defenseless, but Shocks showing exactly what he's good for. Finds 2 more. Bintet does turn it around. And he and Attacker are going to find Kenny S. They're not out of the woods just yet on the G2 side.
That's the lack of armor there. Kenny S overextending, I would say. He had the kill. He had the bomb site under control. He pushes through. All of a sudden, this looks troublesome. They have got a couple of smokes on the CT side. And there's 1 minute on the clock. So a huge round here. TYLOO don't necessarily have to win this one. You can see they've got lots of money left over. They bring it down to a 1 versus 1. They're in a great position going forward here. This kill should come through. Will it be traded out? It won't. So G2 win the round due to that fantastic play from Shoxy there. It looked like it was about to fall apart, but he has 4 players on his screen. He waits to the absolute opportune moment there to shut it down. When the bomb's being planted, they're just setting up the defenses there. He gets 2 kills and stops the bomb going down. Yes, he got dropped. That's not a huge deal. I'm sure they'll pick up the AWP as there it is. Lucky finishing things off with style with the AUG. We get into round 4. Remember, plenty of cash here. The first real gun round here for TYLOO. Bentet right now with the Glock and armor. Has he not even got a pistol? Attack could have dropped him a P250. He actually is legit on the Glock this round. Really not an ideal place to be. I think he has got a deagle at this point, so at least some firepower for himself. Round 4, G2 need to avoid the reset here. Kenny does have Kevlar this time, a few kits. Shox with almost no utility as he pushes towards middle. And this looks likely to be a B play. They're just holding up in the default right now. See the bomb just holding there. They're seeing what kind of aggression is going to be presented at the start. You can see this lovely crossfire. It's going to be Shoxy watching underpass, Lucky top and middle, and then they've got a player in the window as well. You can see they've got every angle covered. So mid control, we always talk about that Mirage. Definitely under control from G2 at this point. This looks like a little bit of a beat fake, perhaps. Is throwing some smokes over, seeing what reaction they can bait out.
Bomb is there, though, so if it's successful enough as a fake, if they can find a pick on entry, there's no reason not to commit. Okay, problem is it's going back. Look at the position of Shox. Again, he could be the one that... Oh, he's made noise. They've heard him. Absolutely, they've heard him. So now what's the call? Because if the bomb was going to go back, site's wide open on A. They've already got attacker through the A site. They'd love to just have the bomb going through the spawn. Problem is that Shox was in between them. Sure, good enough that he heard it and slowed down not to take the fight, but he can't really get there. He knows there's a problem in the middle of them. So while there was a presence on B that's caused a rotation, they're almost forced to go back that direction simply by Shox's position. And it's Body and Lucky that have the crossfire set. Kenny S already with the AWP inside of the checker room as well. He's got the shot at the window, and it's going to be a very difficult task for TYLOO. A 2-on-5, and this is a case of best laid plans of mice and men. I mean, this just absolutely got ripped apart by position.
Absolutely. So they tried to do a bit of a fake there towards B, and actually that information of Shox going past actually upset them a little bit there. They lost the first pick, and they didn't really have a solid plan towards the end of the round there. Didn't seem clear as to where they wanted to end up and what information they could gather. Had a player go through the vent, but he was shut down by the FAMAS, and that's looking too good for G2 there.
I feel like it actually turned out to be a fake that was super successful by Shox getting attacker, who was supposed to be the lurk clearing the site. If you didn't think you had anything in it, you might have been able to follow Shox all the way around, plant the bomb, and play it as a 1vx situation in the post plant, because at least you get a bomb down in that situation. The fact that they didn't even think they could get back toward A, everyone was already on the B site. Shox basically cleared A for them.
They're going to send 5 players towards the A site here. Nothing really purchased. 2 flashes, and the objective purely is to try and get a plant out of this one. Certainly possible. We would assume the orb, but Kenny's going to be nearby. He's actually holding towards jungle right now. It's up to Jax to deny this one and make sure that bomb doesn't get planted. A desperate attempt there from somebody, and it looks like a clean sweep's coming through. The aim looks nice, actually. Jax there, showing us what he can do with the AK-47. Always great to have that on the CT side, as we'll see G2 take the lead now, 3-2. Jax top fragging right now with 5 kills and 3 deaths, and we've got Excurate yet to really post anything. He'll be on a rifle this round as the loss bonus starts to rack up to 3. That's going to be $2,400 per player. No plan there. You can see that attempt just to run on the side, hope for the best there. Ambitious, but a clean sweep of G2. They've stabilized themselves at this point. They've got nice cash in the bank. Kenny especially knocking on the door 7K with a full orb buy here and a PT50 in reserve. And Jax actually wants to continue his aggression towards A round, but surely goes down here indeed. His extra gets his first kill, and they're going to try and pounce on that.
Bomb dropped outside of the door. That's lovely. Great shot from Kenny. Shox sees it and realizes he can now look the other direction comfortably. Excurate down. Great timing on the flash for Shox to peek.
He's got another one as well. He doesn't need to overextend at this point, but he's hitting every single shot so far. And this is the Shox we saw yesterday. The first time we've seen any sort of level of play from him that would be convincing. That was yesterday in the best of 3. He's arrived just in time. Can Bentet do the same? 1 minute remaining, and Kenny S seems to be hitting all of his shots as well.
This is TYLOO facing an adversary far more prepared than they seemed throughout the course of the entire event. Trouble for TYLOO, perhaps. Vici. Close. Very close against the IP. Great event for them overall, by the way.
Yeah,
considering no one expected anything from them coming into this, nearly making it through to the new Legends stage. But TYLOO pretty much holds up the flag for Asia at this point in time.
And remember, it's Dust 2 next. I feel like if G2 win out Mirage, it's going to be 2-0. They're very good on that map, I will say that. As we have another eco, partial buy, as the 4th stage loss bonus comes in. You can see they got a little bit more than a full eco. PD50's Deagles, some Kevlar, a couple of flashes, and Lucky's is in such a perfect spot now. The double orb setup coming through. He actually misses a bit of a sitter there, but shouldn't be too much of an issue. We've got Body, who's always been known as a strong anchor throughout his career. He'll get 3 kills.
He's kept the boat at bay this time as well because he's shut down B site entirely. He'll take down Bintet, just pistols for TYLOO, 5-2 G2. And I think you're right. If they can take this map, they can potentially take this series in 2. Don't forget as well, we've got one more best of 3 for the final spot in the next stage of the major. That'll be against Windstrike and Cloud9 immediately after this. Give or take immediately.
How this, I love the fact we've got the Swiss format to a point now where these matchups, they will make sense in terms of how the tournament's developed, and it's a best of 3 finish and not just a one map affair, which could be considered a little bit random towards the end of this stage.
Yeah, any elimination match was best of 3, which is great. I also want to point out that based on, it's an ELO-based system, but the numbers that it generated, this map is the closest. This matchup today is the closest. Great shot, Kenny, through the smoke to find attacker, and he fades back inside of it. They can't capitalize on it. This was, both teams were like, I think G2 was 7.09 and TYLOO was 7.6 or something like that. So it should be a very close duel, essentially, according to how things have played out.
TYLOO certainly have looked very strong, but this is the 2-2 game. Whoever loses it goes home. Winner goes to the next stage of the tournament, the new Legends. So much cash on the G2 side. Look at that. Plenty of money. And now it's a 5 versus 4. Kenny getting that nice pick. Good to see him and Shoxy posting decent numbers early on in the series. It bodes very well indeed. Hector at the AWP, still on that 1 kill. Needs to start having impact here as they set up an A split, mainly focusing towards the A ramp and Palace. Jax also looking pretty handy today with 5 kills as they hold up. It's quite telegraphed it's A at this point, but still 2 players towards the B side for G2. Trying to utilize the advantage they have, and Kenny will be flashed, but can he hit the first shot? Too easy for him.
Way too easy. Kenny and Jax, meanwhile, they'll add to that. So TYLOO back to guns, but finding absolutely nothing with them. That lost bonus still in effect, though, so keep in mind a bomb plants would be substantial, not with Kenny. Peeking out from CT, somebody goes down. Summer. It's going to be a pretty short summer.
Yeah, this is really weak from TYLOO. Just when they've lost that pick, they've got nothing left to do. They've run out of grenades. Just walking out of A there with 1 flash. You know, Kenny S is primarily opening CT spawn. You need to have multiple numbers coming out of that position if you're going to try and just walk out dry like they just did. At least 3 just popping out, at least try and go for a trade. Kenny, way too easy for him. But at the same time, that peek towards Sandwich was absolutely perfect. Too fast to react to as their money just keeps swelling. They keep keeping 5 players alive. Kenny S actually got $16,000. Finally. He's going to have nice resources to work with here, and he's hitting shots as well. This is much more like it. As we get into it, it's going to be 6 rounds in a row, round 9. And Deagles, once again, the loss bonus is only that effective when you're getting bomb plants down. That really has to come through as they hold up for CT aggression right now, but GZ don't have to do that at all, really. Why would they? They've got double orbs. They know the money's low. Don't risk anything. As they hold towards top and middle once again.
In the off angle toward Cat. Shocks down below. That was the mend. It's pistols only. Execute an attacker with kills. Look above. He might get another body. Really gave himself up. Good reaction to turn around and find Execute top mid. The one thing we haven't seen from TYLOO, we've seen a B fake that turned into a lackluster B take. We've seen quite a few A hits. I haven't really seen them get enough control of middle.
G2 are too established there, aren't they? It seems like they're having way too much control at that particular position as they've got crossfires with 3 players there. They're not being challenged at all. TYLOO have tried a few executions, but then getting completely shut down by Shoxy might dissuade them from trying it again. But they have got a full buy here. What can be done? It's never too late. It is a CT-sided affair, but TYLOO so far only picking up the pistol and the second round eco. And it's full control for G2 at this point. Plenty of cash as Kenny S will rattle off shots there through the smoke and indeed the window ledge itself. This looks like a fast gambit towards the connector position. You'd assume a flashbang comes in momentarily, but it's going to be Kenny just to drop the smoke, and there's the first kill. Jax will be taken down.
Hold from Summer to get that. First time we've seen anyone aggressively from G2 get caught out. That's not going to happen every round. It's not like they can rely on that alone, but at least they had the consideration to leave someone there for it. Lucky backs off as a result, but oh, this is audacious, but I like it. This is what we want to see from Shox. Recognizes that they've already killed the one player pushing. What's the likeliness of two? Not for Shox. He's going to go all the way around.
He times this well. He might have 4 kills in front of him. They're all there. That's the bomb as well. He's going to have an amazing task here. He didn't check mid.
I don't like this. I don't know how you don't check mid. You already have 2 in the B site. Connector's open. Fortunately for him, they are heading up catwalk. I'm very surprised that he didn't go toward middle, but he'll get somebody. Now he can wrap back around and be underneath them.
They're falling back.
Yeah, they're going to go connector. It's the one spot open. That's why I think Shox had to go mid there. You've got 2 and B already. If they go there, you're ready for that. Go where you think they have a chance to get back over to A where there's no one. Thankfully, they've rotated towards CT spawn, but Kenny's going to be out of position. Lucky's not. He'll take attacker. Oh, great follow-up on Excurrent as well. Bomb did get planted. Keep that in mind, because that gives TYLOO at least the extra 800, but still not out of it yet. They've got a second player inside connector that hasn't been spotted. And naturally, Vents and Jungle are covered off. Both positions viable for where the bomb is planted. Summer knows there's one out toward catwalk. Calls that the Vent's been open. He's spotted. He's given himself up. That's going to allow them to push in more aggressively from CT, and they're aware of it. Bintet swings for 1, turns it around, knows exactly where the bomb is. Chance he can line it up, hits the second, and he knows where Body is, but Body gets him while he's trying to reload, and that should be enough. Oh my, it's not. TYLOO just barely got that one. Thank you, Bintet. They'll be absolutely praising him, but they lose all 5.
Comes down to the absolute milliseconds there. It looked like G2 had done enough. A 4 versus 2. It was lucky with the great AWP frags from Connector, but they were just a little bit too slow on the retake there. A bit apprehensive to get through. They wanted to make sure all the numbers are there, and that's the right thing to do. And with that 1 more second, it would have been enough. But still, they got plenty of cash, and like you said, they took all 5 players down, so there's lots of reset potential. Shoxy, you are absolutely right. The fact he went toward B when they were fully established there with a crossfire, maybe he should have checked out middle and just had a little prod. The bomb was there. He could have had 2 or 3 kills. Obviously, he didn't have that information, but they had no control of the mid position for once. We just discussed that. G2 means so good at that particular area, and they left it wide open. They paid the price for it. The only way TYLOO could win that round was through connector, getting the bomb down quickly, and they get through it by the skin of their teeth. They will be taking a timeout here. TYLOO working out how they invest into this round. The money's not too bad, actually. After winning the round, they've actually got about 5k each, so there is enough for a full buy. There's no AWPs. And we'll go back into that double AWP setup as we enter round number 11. 7-3 down, TYLOO really need to start posting multiple rounds here. Cannot afford a reset at this point.
Bintet waits on the AK. This time, it is going to be a relaxed middle, we'll call that, from G2. Smokes down execution on A. Finally, they get 2 in connector. This is what TYLOO's been lacking on their A hits. As Jax gets underneath of the shadow position, he's got to be well aware of the fact they'll rotate around. He's spotted. Attacker. Oh, he's up and down on the ladder. A little bit awkward. Took Attacker a little while to find the shots, but yet no one able to counter peek him. Shox is always sneaky. He might get there. Oh, Bintet, he's got off the bomb. Shox has left him off the bomb. He nearly gets another, but Attacker gets around in time to spot him. He'll take the extra money, but they avoid the hard reset.
I thought Shoxy might have had that one there. It looked like he was about to be very dangerous indeed. If he denied the plant and then got the kill towards jungle, it could have been absolutely crazy. But it will be a couple of rounds in a row, and you're right, they do avoid the reset there. So this is another big opportunity for TYLOO. If they can win this round, they actually break the economy of G2, which was looking so good for them. It is a CT-sided affair, but Attacker getting it done with the AK-47. Great shots there to find the AWPer, especially towards spawn. And you can see the money being whittled down now. Shoxy enters. He must be going for an aggressive play because, yes, he's got no grenades. You buy no grenades at all if you're going to make a play like this, because it's likely you get a kill and you get traded out, so he doesn't want to waste the money. Had enough for all these header sleeper, opting for heads-up duels here. Doesn't want the assistance of any of those grenades at all.
Kenny downed. Losing out on the AWP exchange. Kenny's on 12 kills, just to note, so he has been pretty much let off the chain. Finally reined back in. Execute going up the catwalk to do it. It's bold, works, gives them the man advantage. Shox, though, still going to push this. He's going to check the hallway. Somebody's waiting for it. Shox still got it. Somebody's been smart about his positioning. Summer as well in anchoring those. But now it's the chase from Attacker as Shox just wanted to rotate back through B. Gets caught out.
Don't know how he survived that. He was 40 HP already, then hit by 2 AK bullets, manages to live.
He kind of is stuck in the hallway right now. I think he's pinched right, and if he goes back through that doorway, they're going to spot him, but did they know?
This is actually kind of sick. They wouldn't expect him there.
Exactly. They're going to think he's gone all the way back. Smoke down especially is going to lead them to believe they're on the other side of it, the defensive side. 9 HP, all he needs is 1 here. If he gets 1, that's brilliant. He might get more than that, but he does step out. Pretty easy shot for Summer in the end, and Body will rotate back in. Still a tough task for him. He's the only one there currently. Has to hold off 2 players immediately working in from the apartments and firing the AUG already. He's made noise. Great turn back to find Summer. The headshot and execute it now. Just the AWP. Started this round off by taking out Kenny. He'll end it by dropping the Body, and it's G2 back on the winning side, 8-4.
I love that little play from Shox there, just to know, no grenades purchased. He knows he's going aggressive, and it's at the point where the grenades aren't going to help him, just his aim. He manages to take down that player. This shot here, how he wins that duel, I don't know. An incredibly smart play. The smoke down, he sits in front of it. He knows he's low HP. He needs to be sneaky there just to get another kill, which he gets, and allows his teammates to rotate through. And as we mentioned, Body on a good day is actually a really strong anchor, and today seems like one of those days. He gets 2 great kills there. His teammates rotate in, they deny the plan, and look at the damage to the money. They're going to have to take a full eco here. It's a great round there. G2 will be winning the half at this point. How deep can they go? Can they find double digits and have a really convincing first map? Remember, Dust 2 next really does favor G2. The flashbang is spot on, but the Glocks come out on top. Good shot from Jax. It'll be difficult to even get a plan from this one, but at least they have a rifle now.
Kenny will take over ticket next. 1 rifle picked up, flash into mid. We've seen that work for them in the past. We've seen Kenny do it with the AWP early on. Now with the rifle, falls a little shy. Too many targets in front. Bintet waiting at A main. They're going to go back his direction as well as they go through spawn. So double op, double AUG. Kenny didn't hit the first one. I'm surprised he didn't, but the fact that he doesn't means the AUG now has to step out. Jax, excellent round. Waiting for the flashbang, actually got caught. Execute peaked a little bit sooner than he would have hoped. And now it is on Kenny. So this op still becomes a factor. I was going to say the rifle recovered position. Kenny's been accurate throughout this game, but that's 2 big misses and bomb down. Their lucky Body hits that because Lucky's on a retake with an AWP. Bintet's taking a massive risk right now. They're going slow because they have no information as to where he is. This could work.
He's got a smoke for the bomb. An incendiary for connector. They smoke the bomb, incendiary connector is done.
They have to consider it too, right? I mean, they're still checking. They had no idea. They thought he was going to still be in Palace, and because they hadn't gotten to the bomb, he was just going to be hiding.
It's way too
incendiary, yeah, that's way gone.
Well,
he could just run up. He's checked it already. That's too easy. Bintet, second time he's going to clutch out around from the connector, this time with kills rather than time, and TYLOO get their 5th. I don't know what that Molotov was.
That's an incredibly easy one to throw as well. You just need to throw it on the steps, and he doesn't have access. That's the whole idea. If you throw it that deep, you've done nothing and given the round up. That's a Glock eco, by the way. There was nothing purged at all. They had Glocks and no armor. Full eco victory. An absolute nightmare. Overcommitting, I would say. Kenny, again, doesn't have to actually be outside of CT spawn area. The bomb wasn't planted. And here we go. This is why G2 were considered a team in the conversation to be dropped out of this stage in the tournament because of those sort of mistakes. Looked so good in the early sectors, but that's going to be game-defining, I would say. 1 AUG saved. Actually, I think purchased into this round. Jax taking a massive gamble. You have 1 flash, some deagles as well. Double digits would have been great. That was a great chance to get close to it, but somehow TYLOO win out on the full eco. Smoking towards connector now. Mid control coming through. You can see they've left A completely open. Suggested will be a B split. Jax needs to be flashed in there. There's the flash, and there's a chance. Oh my goodness, it's actually working out. The flash couldn't have been better timed. A full eco victory on the cards here, but it's up to somebody who's now towards the underpass. Do you have to face him, boys? You've got the bomb, you have control, and you're challenging 1 by 1. Just have to try and stay alive here. Good incendiary will flush him out. Shock's in a good position here, and somebody has to wait for the flames and smokes to dissipate at this point. Still has a fighting chance, but Shock's unlucky, both with rifles at this point, and a flashbang. The fact somebody's on 25 HP, I'm going to suggest he doesn't do this, but...
Weird.
Could happen.
I'm surprised you just stayed in the smoke. He would still be grayscale and let it fade. I thought he'd back away once the Molotov was gone, but he took the risk of no one being there. 25 seconds, AK-47, bomb top mid. Nothing he can really do in this round. And Shock's position, you mentioned it before, it's better now because he's rotated around. They have either end of mid, window, easy pick, down he goes.
Well, they lose to a full eco and they pretty much offer the same up in return. One AUG purchased by Jax, I think it was. That's incredibly good by him. The fact that he can actually get that flash towards middle, it couldn't have been timed any better. They had 2 players towards short, 2 in connector, flash over, and all the aggro taken away from the pistols. It just allowed Jax to do this with the AUG there. You could see they were absolutely done for. What a perfect round from G2 there. Just what they needed after the defeat to the Glocks, and it's the last round of the first half. It's a reset. Looking very good for G2 to get back on track to getting 10 rounds on the board.
Lucky. Already boosted up with the AWP. Jump up there yourself, everyone knows that, but by boosting on the op, if they were going quick, he's always going to be ready to shoot. It's a safe way of doing it, and they're going to double up Catwalk as well, so again, a mid-presence from G2. Kenny as well is on Catwalk, so both ops over toward the B side of the map, but one of them is focused on mid. You can certainly rotate back to Catwalk and watch the windows when they enter. Bintet making some noise. Out toward mid finally. He'll take a slight bit of nade damage. Molotov's going to do more. He's got to back away, and that puts him directly into the clutches of Shox. That's well played between Kenny and Shox. Lucky, waiting the whole time, finally gets his shot on somebody, and it's a 2-man lead for G2.
Looking very good for them. Mac 10, couple of AKs here, 5 versus 3. Should be no point of access for TYLOO at all. Looks like they're focusing towards connector, and Shox, he's been on an absolute tear this game. 14 kills to his name as Body continues his strong performance as well. That's his 13th. 5 versus 2, less than 30 seconds. There shouldn't be a universe where TYLOO can pick this round up.
Summer trying to sneak in. Knows there was one in ladder before. Found it. If he could have avoided Kenny. That's a hard thing to do when he's playing like this. He might have had a second kill, which would have given them a chance at the round. Lucky's got other plans as well. 10-5. Good start from the French. TYLOO showing some signs, perhaps?
Well, it was actually G2 losing the pistol and coming back and winning 10-5, even losing to a full Glock situation as well. That's actually very good from G2. That's what we wanted to see from them as they develop into this tournament. Can they keep it up, though? That's the big question. You're going to have to find out after this break.
On my own, when you spill that rum and coke on my t-shirt, yeah, your eyes made it difficult to get my baby. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high-pitched feel, baby. We shared a cigarette by East Versailles. The way you looked at me, couldn't say goodbye. And whatever you did to make it stop, 'cause baby, you make me feel something. next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high pitch feel, baby. We shared a cigarette by East Versailles. The way you looked at me, couldn't say goodbye. And whatever you did to make it stop, 'cause baby, you make me feel something.
Don't mess with Frankie. Don't get spied on by a drone, man. Oh, I'm putting that back in my suitcase. I'm not flying that around again. It's too expensive to get hit by a bat, but getting hit by a pretty swift scoreline. Everyone on G2 equal to the best fragger or above that on TYLOO at 10-5. They go to the T side to start their attack, and with that, they're going to go with 2 players on smokes, by the way, and over toward B. So watch for perhaps an arch smoke and a deep window, or are they going to keep him for the post plant? They might just do that. One's going to drop now. That's going to take away the vision from somebody as they enter. Bintet, therefore, left alone. Somebody's got to swing left, but they can push through onto him, and that's exactly what Body does. Good start. Good crossfires. Rotations have arrived. Trades go back and forth. Shock's down. It's all on Body. It's actually worked out. Second pistol, perhaps, for TYLOO, as they got there very swiftly, I have to say. Despite that smoke in the window, they came through the door. No one was deep enough to spot that, and then they just swarmed around quad.
Smokes were decent, but the shots were a little bit better from TYLOO. Body, almost no chance of winning this one. If he can get a kill, that would be fantastic at this point, but taking that at 8 HP, they're going to know it as well. He gives it his all, but nothing he could really do there. Good trades and nice shots from TYLOO. We'll give them both pistols now as they're down 10-6. I assume we see an eco here from G2. No plant, so we'll see the AKs come out the next round, as they were unable to really penetrate the B side there. A couple of nice trades, but a 3 versus 1 to close it out. They'll have to wait a little bit longer before they can really get into this second half. Full eco, maybe a flashbang purchase, jump out the apartments or palace. Is there any flash at all? They're purchasing nothing, not a single dollar invested in round 2 here. Kenny waiting in spawn. Does he get anything? No, just going to be adjusting some things and making sure he's comfortable for the next round. Looks aggressive.
Yeah, very. Considering if this goes down, it's a gun given away. 2 players there. They've got to be very careful about this.
Smoke deployed though, will buy him some time. He has full control of the B apartments there, so worth the push. Shoves them back towards A, perhaps. Bomb still down into B apartments. No real chance of being planted with nothing purchased. But at this point, you might as well just drain out the utility. It's annoying and quite boring to play against, but if you can get every flash and every smoke out of the CT defense, then you know you're taking money out of their pockets going forward. If you do win that next round, your reset potential actually grows with every grenade thrown.
Fantastic point. There is 1 smoke and incendiary left if they wanted to try and pull those away. Back toward mid for G2 and trying to do so. Passive hold from jungle from attacker. He can watch both the window, but likewise be involved in the crossfire at top of connector. Bintet will call that now. Attacker goes on that information bomb down. Execute still inside of the site. Pretty straightforward setup.
Well, they do manage to get a little bit of the utility thrown away at that point. The AK certainly coming out here. It's Jax who can afford the AWP, but I doubt they purchase it. It's going to go for the AKs here. Standard 5 AK round with the smoke and flashbangs. Maybe a few HEs in the mix as well. We'll see if that rings true. Body, last one to purchase. They'll take a tactical timeout. The first one from G2. Now the coach to come in, give a speech and work out how they're going to operate in this first round. They know if they can get a clean one here against the MP9s and a UMP as well, they could be right back in the driving seat. And this sort of buy on the CT side, you need to go aggressive somewhere. Someone needs to be pushing a ramp or palace, maybe a little 2-man push with the MP9s and even just get 1 pick, upgrade to an AK. And G2 will be very aware of that fact. They should be playing in a slow default to begin with and see whether there is a push there, or go for a set piece from the very beginning and see if they can just work as a 5-man unit and dominate with the rifles. 2 options. I would say anything but a rush is viable for them. Just need to be ready for any potential aggression in the CT. So let's see if we can work out if they'll go for a push here. 3 towards A. Maybe they will push that A ramp. Attacker We'll use the AUG. Fires off some shots towards top and middle. No CT pushes coming in just yet. Actually quite a passive setup. 3 SMGs here. Incredibly difficult round to win. But if they do, they've got tons of money. And they'll force G2 to another eco.
Smoke down window. Flash inside of the one that already existed at the bottom of connector. Lucky looks in. Doesn't see anything with it. Not so lucky to find a kill through the smoke. Which is redeployed at this point as well.
Just to note, there's only one player towards that B side. That's going to be somebody with an SMG. Holding the pillar right now, that is a one and done position, if that.
It's a very tough position because they're going to be behind him. If they look down from the window, he's gone. They haven't yet. He had a chance to spray for more, but Attacker's in position to capitalize, and they're not yet in from balcony to watch the doorway. He's inside of the sights. Removed. Good find from Shox. Still very difficult affair to put the bomb down as the smoke will cover the window. They might be able to rush it in. They need to watch Cat just to confirm that it's clear. Shox is doing that. I think Jax might have been best suited to push in with that smoke down and get the bomb in position. He thinks otherwise. Works out so far. He'll get Bintet. Shox goes over to get the bomb. It's a little bit late though. Jax, he gets caught out. Again, if they weren't through the window, Jax might have been able to push over there and grab that already, but he held the angle. Shox confirmed it now. He'll go for it in a one-on-one as Summer is the only one left. 100 HP, MP9, bomb being planted. He can't advance fast enough to get there, but he gets on Jax before the gun's leveled.
And that's huge for TYLOO there. It comes down to the 1 versus 1. Remember, 3 SMGs in this round. The fact they win, it doesn't matter. It comes down to 1 player. Their G2 economy is going to be in a fragile spot. The bomb planted enables them to get AKs out again. If they hadn't got that plant down, they would have been done for. So they're going to buy up once more here and get the AK armor out. They'll have little to no utility. And being G2, I'm almost certain they buy this. They know if they can win this round, it resets the CTs completely as we keep getting closer and closer to tying things up. I respect this from G2. They're not force buying. I assumed they would. It's been one of their main issues and talking points throughout this tournament, the constant force buys. They're actually taking a more conservative approach and saying, you know what, let's go for pistols, keep the money strong with a better team here, and let's win out in the gun rounds instead of trying to force it every single time, which has been losing us games.
Needs top mid. Molotov countering it off. He'll rotate out already. Oh, Attacker. He was in a great position, but blinded up. He couldn't find the kill. It's only for 1, though. And it is going to be immediately TYLOO capitalizing on the situation with such a great crossfire setup inside of a pretty default. Pretty standard. 15 HP for Lucky. This will be the 4th round in succession for TYLOO. And they come now within 1 of G2 on the CT side. Again, Dust 2 is next.
And that's where we feel like G2 have an absolute upper hand. And firepower and in general approach as well seems to be one of their better maps, and not many top teams are willing to play Dust 2. It's the least played map at this tournament so far. I think after yesterday it's been picked, what, 2 or 3 times out of 40+ maps, so they're certainly specialists on it. Whether TYLOO will be up to the task is yet to be seen. I think they really need this Mirage victory, which is now a conversation to be had. TYLOO managing to get 4-0 in the second half here and winning that all-important 3rd round against the AKs. That was the big one for me. And Excurip surely will be smoked out. He's not going to be gifted a free kill, where is he? The smoke isn't ideal towards window. He's got a huge gap, and he actually misses the shot, gets double grenaded. That's fantastic from G2. Maybe a little bit lucky that he actually missed the shot. They weren't aware such a gap was available to him. But still, Jax, 9 HP. And they'll slow things right down with the advantage they've gathered here. What's the CT response? We're going to have to see one. We have got Summer on the AWP this time. After Excurip went down so early on towards the window. And it looks like they fall back into an A execution. They still have utility. Just the 1 smoke, though. I assume they chuck that in spawn and Molotov sandwich and hope for the best here. It's still going to be a rough round for them. They got to flash over. Like 3 or 4 flashes required here, as that's the smoke for CT spawn. Summer's actually playing in front of that position, so the flashes will actually be beneficial here. They need to be pumping over like 2 or 3 at least, just to make this a little bit more comfortable. There's the first 2. Is there a 3rd? And there's not, so Summer should be able to get a kill. Another missed shot here. They need to start landing these orb shots, but it's not happening at all, and G2 will really take advantage of that. There's a smoke towards spawn to grant a plan.
Yeah, they've exploited it perfectly. Bomb to go down. Double flash to CT, no smoke, but they have someone watching it still, so the safety is there. Unfortunately for their sake, there's no one rotating in that direction. The only thing they're going to try and do at this point, I imagine, is save. Bintet confirming that. He'll hold up inside of kitchen. Somebody will watch the other entrance to the apartments with the AUG. They'll send Well, I guess 2 on the hunt, but not overly aggressive, and I don't think they should. We talked about the discipline not to force buy in the last round. G2 likewise can't afford to give away guns yet. They'll keep the lead. They'll go 11-9.
Will they be able to find these remaining CTs? Doesn't look likely. 2 of them survive. They're going to get $1,400 on top of what they have right now, which isn't much. Somebody can drop a UMP. It's pretty much the same story for Bente, who could drop a FAMAS, I guess. They will buy. Somewhere with $7,000. He'll probably get an AWP up for the squad. So definitely a buy coming in. This is a massive moment here in this best of 3. The 2-2 game. Loser goes home, winner advances to the new legend stages. You were right, Henry. Dust 2 has been picked only twice so far in the challenger stage. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I normally am right. This one is good to be correct all of the time, though. So that's confirmed.
Anything else you want to praise yourself on?
I'll think about it and get back to you. I'm sure I can come up with something. Do you want to praise me on anything?
No,
nothing. Nothing, not at all.
Not at all.
Nothing that comes to mind. Okay, well, fair enough.
11-9. 2 timeouts remain at this point for G2. 3 for TYLOO. Malik, the coach,
who actually had to play a couple of majors ago.
Yes, that was with Envious when they were still part of the scene. Well, with the French scene, I should say. They obviously are back now in North America with a much different lineup. But yeah, stepped in. Scream went nuts that game on Inferno trying to offset the difference. But unfortunately, Malik, that was his first competitive CSGO match. He was a former player, but hadn't had too much practice.
Yeah, as a Source player, so it was like a long time since he played a pro game. And it was
RPK that was sick too, was it?
Yes, he got really ill at the event. So it wasn't the best, but G2 picking up their first round of the second half. But like we said, there was enough cash here to continue buying on the TYLOO side. It's far from ideal, but not too bad. Attacker, the only real compromise with the SMG. If you play smart, you can make that work. X-Grip hasn't looked as efficient as you would expect with the AWP. A lot of missed AWP shots so far, and here's the push. Getting Attacker set up. But it's a B split that will be initiated on the French side of the equation. Going to lead with the AWP Kenny, who focuses towards that connector. But Bentep, great spot here. He's going to get frags from this, no problem at all. At least a 1, and there's no trade potential. So that's a little bit shoddy from G2, I have to say. Checking such a key choke point. A lot of CT presence in this room, and there's no one to back him up. He just goes down with nothing.
X-Grid still just waiting to see when they walk in. He's not completely alone. Great shot to find Jax because of this. Somebody's already holding backside of the smoke to make sure the windows are covered. Okay.
This is a bit of a mess from G2 now.
Yep. Just drop down, make a ton of audible noise, and leave Lucky for dead.
Didn't want to flash into that CPL room or ladder room, whichever you want to call it. Anything would have been good, just apart from walking in by yourself. But just, there it is. That's what we've seen from G2. That's why I haven't really been impressed with them. That's not bad from Kenny. Maybe he survives with the orb. That's something. They're going to get 1,400 back, and that is a hard reset. This map's starting to fall out of their grasp now. With Kenny S saving the orb, he can actually drop an AK. Whether he wants to do that's another thing altogether. He'd have his money as strong as possible for future endeavors. And it will be TYLOO to pick up quite the easy round, I have to say. Didn't have to work too hard for it. Didn't even have to make their own aggressive play to get the pick. It was almost put on a plate for them and served up towards the short area. There we go. 11-10. Timeout for G2. Signs of horrible plays we saw earlier on in the tournament. Just really uncoordinated solo pushes and lack of utility. Discipline coming through, and you can see the coach doesn't look too happy about it.
Yeah, that was very poor. 10-5 score, remember at half. Looked great. Pistol win, and one very timely, literally, where time ran out on the bomb. Clutched by Bintet. Another where they made a mistake ultimately and didn't consider connector. Got the Molotov way too deep in the incendiary, I suppose, if you want to be technical. Allowed him to kill the diffuser there. Ultimately, it could have been a 13-2 half just as easily. But now we're swapping over where TYLOO wins the second pistol as well. Their map choice, they're starting to look comfortable. And we're seeing the lack of teamwork from G2 appear yet again.
Well, Kenny gets the AWP once more, not force buying. So trying to keep the money strong. Kenny gives them a couple of pistols, I believe, and he gets himself some utility as well. This is all about Kenny S. Looking for opening kills.
He's going to go aggressive. Pre-scoped. He'll walk right around that corner, look to the back wall of the site. No one spotted yet. Check the top of the stairs. No one there. Has to consider the corner because it would be pretty pitiful if he went down to that, so it does. And around to peek out towards CT. Flash goes over. Oh, yes, sir.
What?
All he saw was the pitched arm. The nade came out, and he figured out exactly where the player was standing because of it. That is damn sexy from Kenny. That is smart, and smart is sexy in 2019.
That was pretty unbelievable. That's all they needed. Not enough to win the round yet, but maybe this is body catches an unsuspecting attacker.
Oh!
That's more like it. The P250 delivers. He's got Benter locked in towards the vent as well. This round has fell apart for TYLOO.
All you need to hold the vent as well is a pistol. Slow movement mechanics, headshots are easy to walk through. He can just sit there all day. Bomb already planted. They've got to save the AKs.
That was a full HP player underneath the Palace position. How he looks so efficient at that distance, I couldn't tell you, but they'll take it all day long, and all starts with Kenny S pick and then a body backstab, and all of a sudden the round is theirs. G2 is sloppy on their previous approach with a full buy, but this is anything but absolute perfection, perhaps, as now 5 players survive and the bomb's going off and they've reset and returned. TYLOO now trying 12 to 10. They're going to save 2 AK-47s, and Jax has got a double up on the T side. It's not ideal, but they'll take it. Might as well. And we'll move into the next round. Not going to throw that away, but this gun might be lucky. Actually hits the shot. That is magnificent. What a round from the French.
That's exactly what they needed. Post timeout after, by all accounts, a very, very poor tactical round beforehand. Spectacular turn of events. And it wasn't just Kenny getting that kill. Yes, that gave them the confidence to get inside of the site. Pistols did fantastic work. Body got great positioning. Watch that over and over
this
again.
One. What?
That's utterly ridiculous.
Double dink. That's the only way you kill him at that range. Kenny hits that shot too. He's hit Ben's head. The only player with a rifle there, down to 57.
Somebody has armor but not a helmet. Do you consider just giving him the AK at this point in time?
Ben's a star player. He's got the AK. Going for one taps anyway. Not yet, I guess. He'll be happy to use it until he's like 20 HP perhaps.
Shox knows that there's one. I'm not sure he's aware that there's 2. So he's got to be careful here. Dinked up. That's another gun grabbed. He'll be a bit annoyed that there was 2 there instead of just the initial. Ooh, somebody. Timing. Oh, second sooner and body would have been certainly up for grabs. Got around the corner too quickly for the pistol to do anything and smokes himself off. He'll be able to walk back through, but that's a gap. And Body and Lucky are both watching it. So not seeing him should confirm that he stays top mid, but they've got other ideas. They want to get back over to A in the meantime.
Kenny, right now alone, he has got Jax on his tail. Trying to work out that the Palace is indeed clear, which it is. But TYLOO give themselves a fighting chance here, taking down Shoxy. Making their way towards the A site. Going to be another hit shot from Kenny. Will he follow it up with a grenade? He does, but he doesn't land. Attacker moves out of position towards jungle. Here comes somebody towards T-spawn, though. Didn't have the range of the weapon, the 5.7. Not ideal, and they'll start to fall back. What's the final play here? They just go for the execution. Now it's a 4-on-4. Still dangerous, though. Like we said, those star players with rifles still could be troublesome with 20 seconds remaining. Excura digging himself in the corner with the M4. It's all about him right now.
Jax, though, does find a kill instead. Bintet, that AK, he's pulled it around. 10 seconds. 10 seconds, bomb down! They've got to go for it because now it's in the open. That kill is everything. But they've got to play it. They haven't done it. Summer can win this round as long as he stays alive, and he will. He's aware of it. Unbelievable mistake. The 1 kill on the bomb, they thought he was going for the plant. No one recovered in time. Body hit the shot they had to, but they just didn't get in position to plant.
They had to just focus on when there's 6 seconds remaining. Those that are aware, it's 3.5 seconds to plant the bomb. It has to read 4 at the top of the clock for it to actually be possible. And they just didn't react to it. I don't think anyone was aware that the clock was that low. All they had to do was knife out, grab the bomb, plant, and that's the only way they could have won the round. And they just panicked a little bit too much and didn't do anything with it. Once that kill came through, it was definitely possible to get it down. And that's a massive disaster for G2. That was their round. It all falls apart, but they still have the cash. They're going for a faster play towards it. They've broken through the choke point now.
Shots to CT. Jax, he's got them. Summers pulled one back, though. They run around to try and pin him in the corner. He finds it. Double Molotov in the same position means he can just fall back. He's already done so. If he was still there, the stack on him, the low HP. was on 95. I thought he was tagged a little bit more than that, but certainly would have been painful. Shock's good time to get toward middle. We'll find attacker. That gives Lucky a bit more to work with. Underneath of Shadow, doesn't have to worry about the top side of jungle, but they do have to consider windows still. Slow peek from somebody. Oh, he looked away from Sandwich. I don't think he was spotted. Did get Kenny. Thought maybe Jax was going to see him. Smoke down for himself. He'll get away. Shox has rotated all the way back around to join his teammates, and this will be a front A take in a 3-on-3. Victor of this round is going to be in a fantastic position money-wise, because the other team is not going to have anything.
You're absolutely right there. 30 seconds here, and Lucky maybe considering planting on the right-hand side here at the bomb site. They need to start hurrying up there. What's the play? They haven't got any grenades and need to feel comfortable, at least towards one position. It's not going to be a jungle. Jax has gone down, and they'll just have to go for the plan here and hope for the best. Shoxy, will he deliver the frag? Certainly not. And it looks like TYLOO have done it again. They've got themselves right back in here. If they can take down Lucky in this 3 versus 1. No flanks towards T-Spawn, just have to worry about that. And they have got a kit. That's on the back pocket of Summer.
Lucky to play this with the bomb ticking. Oh, somebody just absolutely decimates him. Around the corner easily. Kit's already on it. TYLOO's going to go 12-12. No money for G2. Shock says 62, 47 for Body, 34 Kenny. Same for Jax, and then Lucky's just behind them. Do they go for it? This is where we've seen them in the past give themselves some trouble money-wise. Late game, force buy, it's a risk. I think they might want to sit this one out.
Yeah, it will be a risk. There's enough there to get an AWP and maybe 2 rifles. That's what they'll take the time out. Their final one, they're making a lot of mistakes at this point. This is why we were so worried at the beginning of the tournament for them. They looked so uncoordinated and so panicked in certain situations. And now the pressure's really on. This is the 2-2 game, the final chance. And it was looking oh so good in the first half and went down 4-0, I should say. Then got reset after picking up that first round. Ever since then, it's just been a collection of nightmare rounds. As they will not buy into this one, I can confirm on my screen and yours now. You're going to see Deagle's CZs come through. They will keep the money strong. Maybe get 1 AK here. Shoxy's considering it. He hasn't got an upgraded pistol yet. He can just get the 1 AK around these pistols. That's what we call the tactical purchase. He goes with the CZ instead and the utility. These rounds are possible to win. G2, this collection of players used to win so many of them back in the glory days. The Tech 9 era, perhaps, is when they were the absolute powerhouses with the pistols.
Connector already attained. Flash and around the corner. Body wanted to focus inside of the window, but they looked to the chimney instead. Kenny, third man out, finally gets the trade, but that means it's the advantage quite comfortably now as well, with Summer out from Shadow to TYLOO, and probably the lead at this point with Kenny left alone. Even with the M4, couldn't do anything with it, and quick round from TYLOO in the end. 4 players tied for the lead in frags right now. Jax, Kenny, Body, all on the G2 side have 18, and attackers matched them on the TYLOO side. Very close in terms of kills, in fact. Everyone on G2. Shox is the lowest on 16, the highest is 18. Everyone's within 2 kills of each other.
Yeah, Shox hasn't been as strong in this second half, I have to say. TYLOO take the lead now. Buys that. Kenny with no AWP. He's got the CZ instead. And Excurate will be making his way towards that connector. Oh, attacker. Lucky to be alive there, considering we know how good G2's aim is. And it will be the kill eventually, but Org on the other side of the A ramp here. They're next to each other. My goodness, that was close. Body down to 1 HP, but Excurate will find the kill here. Jax needs to protect his teammate. 3 versus 3, and somebody, this looks so aggressive and on point right now. Wallbang attempt comes through, not going to land.
Already planted. Body has 1 HP.
Yeah, they've got no flashbangs or anything to work with here. This should be a TYLOO round.
If Body could find a headshot, they are going to CT. CT should be a confirmed kill. That should be easy. But if he can play the boxes and find someone at stairs before CT gets in position, right now, for example, oh, you might give him a chance. Shox already has 1, now with the 1 HP and a player behind him. I don't think it's going to go far. I take it back, Body. Oh, I nearly pre-fired it. His anticipation was there, but you're right. TYLOO, Kit, going to pick up the round 14-12. But now it's G2. make or break because they've got money to buy and they absolutely will be bringing out the op for Kenny.
You're absolutely right there.
Shox will have to drop. Yeah, he's going to have to drop it to get armor. So Kenny's done that. AK brought out. Shox will... Oh, they're going to not. Okay, all right. I thought they'd give it to him.
The AWP will not be purchased. Shox would rather have 5 rifles here. We'll be lucky on the Galil. One more round for map point here. TYLOO, we said they'd have to win Mirage to stand a chance in this best of 3. Dust 2 just doesn't seem likely for them. And somehow they pull this game back. And Bentep, decent damage towards short. Some trades coming in now as the CTs start to get back into the round. 3 versus 3 very quickly as G2 trying to make their attempt towards a B split. It's really not working out for them. Entirely knocking on the door of map point.
Chaos, and somehow they pull it back on the TYLOO side with sprays at Connector. Missed AWP shot, however, at the back of the site, and it's now a 2-on-2. Everyone is in this corner of the map. Shox wants to work his way out as well. Jax still holding in the corner. Hears them walk out, but Attacker baits him into it. Look to the corner, and it's all down to Shox. Bomb is way over on the opposing side, and he's not aware there's a player right behind him with an AWP. Somebody has got TYLOO on map point.
Oh my goodness. TYLOO have done it again, 15-12, and the money is still in a very difficult spot. We've got maximum loss bonus there for G2, but that only yields $3,400 per player. They go with a fast B split there. They get the first opening 2 kills, and you can see him starting to crumble now. Kenny S with his head in his hands. All the star players not as dangerous as they were in the first half. They've barely got anything together, as now 10-2 in the second half. It's all gone horribly wrong. They do manage to get together rifles, but now it's going to require 3 clean rounds in a row. They managed to pick up a pistol victory and a rifle round, but that's about it. TYLOO looking for the map advantage. Been so good on the CT side as attacker. Watches the underpass here. 2 players on the other side. That's Lucky and Body. They've been so poor at the trade potential here. And this time a bit better, but Lucky's gone down to 30 HP. That grenade might finish him off. Doesn't quite connect.
Not yet, at least. Smoke inside a window for Lucky. That allows him to walk out safely and get toward Connector. Keep in mind that, oh, good Molotov. I was going to say that AWP on short that could peek as soon as they wanted to walk into the stairwell. They haven't gone even with that, though, but they at least boosted player. Oh, missed shot from Jax was not at all ready for Bintet to be there. 4-on-2. And the bomb sits in the underpass position. That's going to be very hard to get back.
It was looking so good for G2. First half, we were comfortable. We felt like they were winning the rounds they should be. They were hitting shots that looked glorious. And it's back to the same old troubles throughout this tournament in the second half. Looking like they're out of position, out-aimed, and just taking too many risks. They even tried to be more conservative with the financial situation, which was a promising sign of things to come. But overall, the key moments, they weren't flashing in, they weren't trading, and it seemed like they were a little bit lost once again. Did we really see any executions at all on their T side map? Nothing really.
Not really. The yeah, Shox is
yeah, that says it all.
That does. I mean, he started off excellent in this game. He needs to get out of that mental state right now because they've got 1 map to make it through to the next stage, to join Vitality, to put both French teams in despite all the issues there currently in their climate. TYLOO pull it back. They had less frags overall, if my math stands correct, but they win 16-12. They win both pistols, and it's the CT side that pulls it back as G2 just didn't have the communication for it.
Well then, it is going to be 1-0, and we go on to Dust 2 next. G2 will need to find some form if they have a chance here to get to the next stage of the tournament. We'll be back after this break.